quick, sharp, and back to the action. Katsina United, they've dismissed reports that their player, Chinedu Ozor, regained consciousness after collapsing during a preseason friendly against Niger Tornadoes in Katsina. The club confirmed that Ozor died despite efforts to save him after collapsing at the Muhammad Dikko Stadium. Katsina United said confusion arose after Ozor's family requested additional medical confirmation before his body was taken to the mortuary. The club stressed that the request was not evidence that the player had survived and urged the public to stop circulating rumors and unverified reports about his condition. Katsina United also appealed for compassion and privacy as Ozor's family, teammates and friends mourn his death, urging the public to remember him with dignity. It's a really sad story, Onyan. You've covered it extensively for The Nation, I beg your pardon, for Sporting Life. There was talk about how the player, there was belief that he after being certified dead, then he seemed to be showing some signs of life, and his family asked that he be taken to a hospital and be revived with oxygen. Lots of people also went to town posting stories on social media. What exactly happened?
Well, it was tragic enough that this player, well-experienced player, played in the academy, Kano Pillars, even Heartland of Owerri. Tragic enough that he lost his life in this manner. And time again, we have seen this happen. The last time was Niger United player who's also slumped on the pitch. The emergency response was not good enough and all that, so we glossed over it. And so he was taken to the nearest hospital and taken to the morgue. His family members came, and somehow there was this assumption that he moved his arm, and they insisted that should be taken into the ICU and put under oxygen and all that. So stories started flying left, right, and center. I monitored the story up till around midnight. When I wrote my reports, what I did was just to chronicle everything that happened, confusion and tragedy. Nobody was sure of anything. But when I heard the voice of the wife crying and confirming that her husband was actually dead, then I knew that he was gone. So that was how I was able to conclude my report.
Really tragic situation. And it also raises questions regarding medical attention, first aid issues. Was there a defibrillator on that pitch when that happened?
So they are talking of defibrillator.
I'm just asking. It's only right and proper.
Most times ambulance refuses to start.
Yeah,
talking of defibrillator.
We see that happen as well. It's only very important that many of these clubs, all these clubs actually begin to take preseason medical testing for their players very, very seriously. He could have had maybe like a congenital heart defect or something that could have been picked up in routine scans as well. So it's very important.
And it also raises issues about when players come, for preseason after a long summer, there is need to also undergo tests before the season, before preseason. Don't assume that this is preseason. They are fit. It should not be left to.
It shouldn't be left to that. Yeah. No. Our hearts and thoughts also go out to the family of the late Chinedu Ozor, who died while playing in a friendly match for Katsina United. It's now time for a WAFCON update, where history was made today in Morocco. All this and much more after this break. Right, history was made today at the ongoing Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco as debutants, the Scorchers, who are the national women's team of Malawi, qualified for the final of the tournament with a 3-1 win over Algeria in the first semi-final. The outstanding attacking duo of Tabitha and Temwa Chawinga sisters were instrumental in the win, with older sister Tabitha opening the scoring in the 33rd minute with a superb bicycle kick. 10 minutes after Algeria were reduced to 10 men after defender Morgan Belkita was given a straight red card. Temwa Chawinga then doubled the lead in just before halftime, before Malawi also had a player sent off. Undaunted, Algeria pulled one back in the second half through striker Ikram Ajabi, but Tabitha, the older sister, sealed the win with her second goal in the 76th minute. It is Malawi's first ever appearance in a CAF tournament final for either male or female, and the other semi-final is currently going on between Morocco and Cameroon. We'll bring you live updates regarding that, but let's quickly hear from the Chawinga sisters Tabitha and Temwa, who are speaking after that historic win.
We are just waiting between Cameroon and Morocco. Which team will win? We'll go to prepare after that, because always we prepare game by game. We have red card, and I know, coach, what we go to do in the training. It's happened already against the. I think it was against the last game, the second game against Egypt. I think we get red card as well, but we manage it. So we are going to prepare very well for ourselves.
Yeah, it means a lot to me because it's our first time to come to this tournament. And a lot of people didn't give us chance like we can reach this level. So I'm really happy with the world that we can reach the level like this, because like, we have good players, like young players, like we fight hard to reach this level, to go, because we are fighting to go to the World Cup and we make it, and also today we fight ahead like to win, like to go to the final. So I'm really happy because like we show effort, we didn't give up, because like we received red card, also we received red card, but we didn't like lose hope, continue to fight hard like to win the game. So I'm really happy for the whole team, for the whole like bench, like taking part now, because
Tabitha and Temwa Chawinga, strikers for the Scorchers of Malawi, who have created history for their Southern African nation. The very first time that Malawi will play in the final of any CAF competition for either men or women, senior or junior. Historic day for Malawi, Oye, and it just goes to show you what we've been saying, that women's football, the gap in women's football in Africa is closing very, very quickly. This is Malawi's first ever attempt at this tournament. Now they're in the final. Algeria have only ever qualified out of their group once. Now they've made it to the quarterfinals as well. Cameroon didn't even qualify for this tournament as well at all. They only made it after this competition was expanded, and now they're in the the semi-finals as well. It's currently goalless between Morocco and Cameroon, by the way. It's an amazing tournament and an amazing achievement for Malawi.
Yeah, fairy tale story, historic. And I was looking at the lineup. Somebody at that stadium, put up the lineup in a WhatsApp forum that I belong to, and I saw that in that Malawi team, they had about 6 players, in the local league, and one player playing for TP Mazembe in Congo Democratic Republic, then the Chawinga sisters in the U.S.
Temwa plays in the U.S.
and Lyon.
No one plays in Lyon. Yes.
There's another player, maybe 2 or 3 players, outside the country. So what does that show you?
So the starting lineup, over half of the starting
more than
lineup,
half
of the starting lineup.
They are based in Malawi. When a goalkeeper is based in Malawi, he plays for a civil service club in Malawi.
And they made it to the final of the Women's Africa Cup of
It's an interesting story. And I think before now, what they have done was just COSAFA, youth teams in COSAFA playing tournaments, and that's what we talk about, the strength of the sub-region, helping teams like Malawi, Zimbabwe, Zambia, helping them to be competitive, playing a lot of games within themselves in that sub-region. And I think the WAFU should wake up, because before you know it, see what happened to the Super Falcons. These teams from the sub-region of COSAFA.
They will continue to grow.
Yeah.
Because COSAFA consistently hosts COSAFA Cup for both men and women.
Absolutely.
WAFU doesn't have any tournament either for men or women as we speak.
Nothing.
Wow. This is shocking. But congratulations once again to the good people of Malawi. They have qualified for their first ever CAF continental final, either for men or women.
And they are playing in the World Cup.
Yeah, and they will also be playing in the FIFA Women's World Cup next year in Brazil. So the people of Malawi are celebrating now.
And that should make a case for the, especially Tabitha, who, a lot of people say she was robbed in the last CAF Women's Player of the Year award, I think some few years ago, that the only thing missing was, they've not played
at the World Cup, or even played even at the WAFCON. Well, I mean, with the performances that she has put up at this tournament, she's definitely a major contender.
Absolutely.
For the Women's African Player of the Year. I don't think a Nigerian is going to win it this time around, so sorry about that. But let's still stick with the Women's Africa Cup of Nations currently going on. The tournament has produced, historic results. The debutants came also continuing the remarkable run as well. We've talked about Algeria's impressive campaign. Cameroon, who are also didn't qualify, also made it to the semi-final as well. And as the tournament reaches its climax, the CAF Technical Study Group members, Shailene Busen and Leah Masengo, they've assessed the quality, standout performers, and emerging talents that have caught the eye throughout this tournament. In this report by our very own Onyechi Obaro.
Confederation of African Football's Technical Study Group has assessed the group and quarterfinal stages of the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations, highlighting tactical growth, emerging talent, and increasing quality of the women's football across Africa. The briefing featured Lamia Bahoudi, former TP Mazembe coach, and CAF Women's Champions League winner, Clementine Toure, Women's African Cup of Nations title winner with Equatorial Guinea, and the first woman to earn a CAF B license, Shailene Boyson, Benedict Zhang, and Leah Masengo, alongside journalists covering the competition. The TSG commended Malawi, particularly Temwa Chawinga, while highlighting standout young players and goalkeepers who have impressed during the tournament.
It's very clear, Temwa is probably the fastest women's footballer on the planet at the moment. But there's also been, if you look at Malawi's team, they have maybe 4 or 5 players that can get beyond 30 kilometers per hour. You look at other teams, they all have that 1 or 2 player that can explode forward. It's just how effectively do you use it, because I think in the Malawi team, they use that really effectively.
Right now, the Malawians having both Temwa and Tabita in that team, I think that has raised the confidence of the team that they can do it. You know, I mean, looking at how they go through the group stages and even qualifying for this for the World Cup, it shows that their presence meant a lot to the team. All of our team
established stars, including Rashidat Ajibade and Morocco's Ait Head, were also recognized for their influence on their respective teams.
Of course, if you want to ask me, I'm going to roll out like a list of players. But if you have to say like a few of them, I think in Nigeria it has to be number 15, Ajibade, who's played every game with a heart on his sleeve and just, you know, giving her everything and always almost being the player of the match and then someone else then. But again, also, you have someone like Ait Al-Hajj from Morocco, who's been spectacular and really just being a leader on the field with Chebak not being there. For me, also in the Algeria team, I think the captain of Algeria has been simply outstanding. I think her name is Defoe, she's number 21, but she's been a real role model in that team.
Using 8 camera angles and AI-assisted analysis, the TSG has monitored performance throughout the competition, with its findings to be shared with participating teams and their coaches. As the semi-final approaches, the TSG says quality coaching, player development, and stronger domestic leagues remain key to sustaining the growth of women's football in Africa. In Morocco for News Central, Onyechi Obaro.
Many thanks to Onyechi Obaro for that excellent report. And Onye, I must confess, I've been really, really impressed by a few players in this tournament. The Chawinga sisters, Temwa and Tabitha, I can't say too much more about them. They've been outstanding. Even the technical study group said that Temwa is probably the fastest woman player on the African continent right now. No surprises. But another player who has impressed me incredibly is the Cameroonian goalkeeper, Michaelis. She's been outstanding. And if Cameroon somehow beat Morocco today, I can assure you, I can guarantee you that she'll be very, very key to that effort as well. So has any player caught your eye?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you read my mind because against the Super Falcons, this goalkeeper stood behind, she was incredible. She was incredible. She made a lot of
surprisingly,
saves.
she was named the man of the match.
Yeah, well deserved. And the reason why the Malawians are doing well, pace. When they played the Super Falcons, we thought it was a fluke, it was a flash in the pan, but they have maintained a consistent, consistent performances over the tournament. They showed their feet, and that's one of the issues we talked about. We raised about the Super Falcons, lack of fitness. Our players appear heavy. They are reacting very slowly to the ball, especially the second balls and all that. Well, when they played Malawi, we saw the electrifying pace of the Chawanga sisters, and they literally destroyed the Super Falcons. So I think the technical study group were spot on. You saw the analysis, driven by technology and all that. So for me, I don't want to fault the assessment. I think they were really very accurate.
Very spot on.
Yeah.
I agree. Meanwhile, the coach of the Super Falcons of Nigeria, Justin Madugu, he's pushed back on the intense criticism surrounding his team's WAFCON campaign, describing coaching as a thankless job. Madugu acknowledged that criticism comes with the responsibility of leading Nigeria, but insisted that he cannot control public opinion or satisfy every supporter. He also defended his tactical decisions and squad selections, stressing that players are picked on merit and with team unity in mind. Let's take a listen to Justin Madugu, coach of the Super Falcons, who is responding to the barrage of criticism he's been receiving from fans, coaches, and everyone in Nigeria.
Criticism is something that we must learn to live with. We must learn to live with because we cannot do anything about it. We can only appeal to people's conscience. Everybody that criticizes has his own purpose, has his own reasons for doing the criticism. Yes, today, Madugu is the worst coach. He's whatever. Even Jesus Christ, the same people that sang Hosanna, Hosanna, were the same people that came back to say, crucify him, crucify him. So, I mean, we all take it in good faith because it's painful when you are giving up. People, like she said, people don't know the kind of sacrifices that we make and the lot of work that we put in to try and make sure that we win. I mean, how do you imagine a coach? You have the responsibility of selecting a team to go and win a match. How do you now do something contrary? What is your intention? What do you want? If you win, you are the principal beneficiary. You are happy that yes, you have done a good job. And then you will now be the one that will go and be doing something contrary that you know will make people sad, and your team will lose a game, and you are happy that your team lost. Somebody sits somewhere. You don't even know what we do. You have never watched our training. You don't come to the field. You don't see what we do. But you sit in the comfort of your house to say, no, this is not the person that should play. This is the person that should play. What indices did you use to determine that this is the person that...
Particularly biblical Justin Madugu referring to the Bible and describing his job as thankless. He does have a point. I mean, let's be honest. No coach wants to lose. No coach wants to pick a team that's not capable of doing the job. And sometimes maybe these coaches are probably blamed a bit too unfairly for what happens because the players must also carry a lot of the brunt. So if everybody's saying sack the coach, why is it anybody saying sack the players? You
can't sack the players. That would be disaster. I don't know the point he's trying to make, but I can't be teaching Justin Madugu about emotional intelligence as the national team coach. I'm just a journalist. I'm just a simple journalist.
No. So a very good one.
No, so I can't be telling him that the only time you are appreciated is when you win. He should realize that. He has been in the job for a long time. It is when you win. That you won the AFCON does not...
You can't win all the time, can you?
Then he has to take it in his strides, because these statements that he's making are unnecessary. Nobody wants to listen to that.
Unnecessary?
Yes.
Are you saying that the criticism against him is justified?
Sunday, if you don't want to be criticized, don't do anything. Stay in your house. Don't do anything.
I see what you mean.
So, I mean, the aspect of that is a thankless, he just got $100,000.
Has he been paid? Well, it was promised. We don't know whether it's been paid. He also got a national award.
He got a national award.
And I think he also got a house in Abuja.
Yes, and then the state government.
So that's not particularly thankless.
It's not thankless.
His state government, he's from Taraba State, I believe.
Yes, they gave him Adamawa State.
Yeah, Adamawa, yeah.
Yes, they gave him a bungalow.
So that's not particularly thankless, is it?
It's not thankless. Unless he wants to return all those gifts.
Nobody's returning anything.
That's what it's not thankless.
No. But after missing out on automatic qualification preparation for the 2027 Women's World Cup. The Super Falcons must quickly regroup for another crucial battle. Nigeria face South Africa on Thursday in a high-stakes playoff in Casablanca, with a place at the FIFA World Cup in Brazil now on the line after their 1-0 defeat to Cameroon. Can the Falcons bounce back and keep their World Cup dream alive? Let's take a look at this package once again from Onyechi Obaro.
Nigeria's Super Falcons have regrouped in Casablanca ahead of their crucial 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup playoff against South Africa, following Sunday's defeat to Cameroon that ended their hopes of securing an automatic qualification ticket. Head coach Justin Madugu had his full squad available in training, with all players taking part as preparations intensified for the decisive encounter. The players remain disappointed by the setback against Cameroon, but are determined to respond with a victory over Banyana and restore the confidence of Nigerians.
Honestly, it's quite tiring, and most of all, it was frustrating not getting the win, but we've bounced back and taken recovery serious, and hopefully, by God's grace, we are all ready for the next match.
For me, we are totally ready. We are totally ready for the game, and I'm sure the Nigerians right now, we need their support, we need their love.
We're always hopeful, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a really good game. It's going to be, another game, another challenge, another opportunity to show Nigerians that we never back out from any competition. So I think the girls are ready, and I think I'm excited personally to make things right.
The stakes could not be higher, as a win against South Africa would put Nigeria in contention for one of the 2 continental playoff tickets, keeping their World Cup dream alive. Only 2 African teams will progress from the stage to the global playoff tournament, where they will battle for the remaining World Cup places. Nigeria has featured in all 9 previous editions of the Women's World Cup since its inaugural in China 1991. Yet after losing their WAFCON crown, Justin Madugu's side have got to go past 2022 champions South Africa in order to continue their hunt for a ticket into the expanded 32-team Women's World Cup in Brazil. In Morocco, for News Central, Onyechi Obaro.
Many thanks to Onyechi Obaro for another excellent report. Onye, that's the big question now. This team has failed to do the needful. And this just brings back, I'm sorry, but it brings back shades of the Super Eagles, who are given multiple opportunities to qualify for the FIFA World Cup. They failed to go through the group phase. They failed to go through the continental playoffs as well. They also failed in their, attempt to unseat the Democratic Republic of Congo with some phantom appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Basically, someone told me that they were given an opportunity to go through the front door. They refused. They were given an opportunity to go through the back door. They refused. They tried to break in through the roof and get into the building. All failed. Now the Super Falcons are in the same jam, couldn't qualify directly. But do you have faith in this team, basically?
It's difficult. It's not just that they're having a bad tournament. They have not played. They have not played like champions, and the handwriting was on really there. But during the World Cup era, they didn't win. They came fourth. Then Madugu won. We forgot about the issues, the problem. But if we are discerning, we would have seen that there was a steady decline of the national team. So in this tournament, they've not been impressive. Forget about what happened between them, the Super Falcons and Egypt, 6-2. Egypt, we are literally donating points. In fact, I think against the Falcons was the only time they scored 2 goals. Yeah. So I don't know. And the South Africans are already, their coach is already bragging, that they are going to compare that.
Can we beat South Africa?
I don't know.
It's a simple yes or no question.
I don't know.
When you being diplomatic again tonight. So let's remind you about the playoffs that's coming up tomorrow. The Ivory Coast will be facing Ghana, while South Africa will be facing Nigeria. The winners of those 2 playoff games will now play off for a sole intercontinental, for a sole ticket to represent the continent in an intercontinental playoff. So
no, I think the 2 teams actually. The two teams from Africa.
Oh, okay, that's
we now
go to the intercontinental playoffs.
Yes.
Thank you for clarifying that. Well, let's move on. That's our WAFCON update.